the most likable fragrances for women. So you want a fragrance that everyone's going to like, hopefully. A fragrance that is going to perform well, that you like, your friends like, your family likes, everyone. I have a few fragrances that are pretty much tried and true to do precisely that. And as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with perchance, the most likable fragrance, at least according to the reviews that I've been seeing, which is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Every single person I have ever spoken to likes this. If you go on to any site that sells this, you will find at least like 5,000 5-star reviews. This is pretty much impossible to dislike, mainly because it's so kind of just simple and designed to be as likable as possible. So Light Blue has some citrus notes, it has some Granny Smith apples for a bit of that fruity crispness, has some other more, natural notes. In general, this just smells, at least to me, kind of like going to the beach or walking through a field of, I don't know, lemon trees. It's a very natural scent. So natural, I mean, unless you hate the smell of the outdoors, which is unlikely, I mean, this is just going to be effective 100% of the time. Now, also, I mean, because, at least so far in my life, I have not come across anyone who dislikes this. This is kind of like a no-brainer type of fragrance. This is something you could just put on in the morning and you're good to go for the majority of the day. The downside is that it doesn't last super long, mainly because it's a light fragrance, so you can expect 4 to 5 hours, maybe 6 hours of longevity, on average 5 hours. Projection is pretty good. People will definitely smell this on you. If you're in a crowd, leaves a nice scent trail and all that. And there are different types of Light Blue. Like this specifically is the Eau Intense, so it's a little bit stronger if you're worried about longevity. But in general, everyone likes Light Blue. This is really nice to wear all the time. Daytime, nighttime, formal occasions, casual occasions. All the time. You can't go wrong with this. Now, if you want something a little bit different, maybe something sweeter than this, then I would say Versace Bright Crystal. This is another one that is supremely likable. Hard to find anyone who dislikes this just because it's designed to be as friendly and agreeable as possible. This is a pretty simple fragrance. It has some fruit notes, like there's some pomegranate, there's some ice accords in it, some peony, little bit of musk, but primarily this is a fruity and floral type of fragrance. Now, it is sweet, but not too crazy sweet. We're not going into sugary, like La Vie Belle territory. This is more of a natural sweetness with those florals and the fruit. And in general, this is kind of similar to Light Blue in the fact that it's one of those kind of all-purpose types of fragrances where you could wear this all year round for any occasion, and you really can't go wrong with it. Now, I will argue this is more of a casual fragrance rather than a formal fragrance, mainly because it just kind of smells that way. And kind of similar problem to Light Blue in that it doesn't last super long, maybe about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. But in terms of just being a casual type of scent, really, really good, very effective, very, good performance. Almost no complaints from me on this one, except for just the kind of short longevity on this. But yeah, this is, again, another one of those fragrances where you don't have to think about it. You put it on, you know it's going to be good, everyone else around you is going to like it. So yeah, pretty much no thoughts needed for this one. Now another one, also from Versace, Yellow Diamond. So Yellow Diamond is kind of like the cousin of Bright Crystal, but with more of a kind of citrusy, fresh vibe to it. Has some neroli, bergamot, some freesia, orange blossom, that sort of thing. So a little bit more on the crisp and fresh side, and especially the citrus. But in general, this is pretty similar to Bright Crystal, just with a little bit of a twist. But both are very, very good. It does have the same problem with the longevity, about 5 hours-ish, nothing crazy, but definitely noticeable, very attractive, very feminine, just a classic, simple type of fragrance that you could pretty much wear anytime, anywhere, and you don't have to think about it pretty much at all. And also a bonus for both this one and Bright Crystal is that they are pretty affordable. I believe a typical bottle is about $50, which is nice, especially considering a lot of fragrances these days are way more than $100. But then, going on from this one, I will say one that I really like is Gentle Fluidity. This is more on the expensive side, but absolutely worth it if you're looking for something that's a little bit extra fresh and extra crisp. This is almost icy in how fresh it is. Has some juniper berry notes thrown in there, very woodsy, foresty, cold and fresh. Super natural with this one. Just in general, it's actually a unisex scent. Not very sweet. You're getting some green notes, getting those wood notes, juniper berries and things like that. Now, the longevity, not great. It is a relatively light fragrance, 5 hours-ish of longevity, maybe 6. But the smell alone is phenomenal. I mean, because it's so natural smelling, mainly smells like the forest, unless you hate the smell of the forest, you're gonna like this, and everyone else is gonna like this. So, very effective. I would say this is primarily best for hot weather, just because it's so crisp and fresh, but still versatile enough. You could pretty much wear this all year round, except I would say maybe midwinter, just because it'd be too cold to wear this cold of a fragrance in midwinter. Then, going on for one that is less known, but I quite like it, which is Sea Salt and Fig from Old Navy. So, again, less known option for this one. And very simple. You get the sea salt, you get the fig, as the title explains. And despite, just being those two notes, this is a really attractive fragrance. And I mean, in its simplicity, that kind of makes it likable. It's super fresh. It kind of reminds me of going to the beach, that kind of salty ocean air. Then you get a little bit of that sweetness from the fig. So it's pretty well balanced, I would say, for being such a simple fragrance. Now, because it is so light, it's not going to last super long, maybe about 4 hours, but it's also very affordable, so, you're not wasting anything, really. So you can put on pretty much as you want, and just enjoy how it smells. But this is definitely a super likable fragrance. It's just fresh and a friendly fragrance, I would say. But that is pretty much my list for likable fragrances for women. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, of course, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.